Welcome back. Sometimes the biggest things in a story start small. So today, we're going to do something cool. We're going to break down just one chapter and see how incredible characters are built from these tiny, almost hidden moments. Ready? Let's get into it.
Come on, we've all been there, right? That super awkward feeling where you just want to become one with the wallpaper. Well, believe it or not, that feeling is what kicks this whole story off. It's the start of one of the most famous friendships in literature, and it all comes down to a simple party invitation.
Okay, so here's the deal. It's New Year's Eve, the two oldest sisters, Meg and Jo, they get this party invitation from a Mrs. Gardner. Now, for most of us, that's great news, right? Party time. But for them, nope, it's an instant problem.
In this one line from Meg, it just says it all. Right away, we get two huge pieces of information. One, this family is not rolling in cash. And two, Meg is really worried about what people think. That pressure to fit in, to have the right stuff, that's the very first hurdle.
And right here, you see their personalities just collide. It's perfect. While Meg is stressing about what to wear, Jo's like, our old dresses are fine. Except, for one tiny detail. Hers has a burn mark on the back from standing too close to the fire. Classic Jo. And just like that, in this one little conversation, we get their whole dynamic. Meg follows the rules, and Jo makes her own.
So let's see where this goes, because getting ready for this party, oh boy, it turns into an absolute comedy of errors. And every single mishap just peels back another layer on who these characters are, especially our girl, Jo.
So first up, there's the dress, which we already know got a little too friendly with the fireplace. A total sign of Jo's kinda scatterbrained, clumsy vibe. But then, it gets better. She tries to help Meg with her hair, right? Grabs a hot iron to curl it, and manages to burn a whole chunk of it right off. I mean, her heart is in the right place, but her execution is a total disaster. And that's the key, isn't it? These aren't just funny little accidents. They're moments that are screaming to us who these people are.
So somehow they actually make it to the party. The hair is dealt with, and they have a plan to hide that giant burn mark on her dress. Jo's brilliant strategy is to just keep her back to the wall all night. And this is so revealing. It shows she's clever, sure, but it also tells us she is so uncomfortable. She hates the small talk, the mingling. She'd rather be anywhere else.
And it's that feeling right there, that desperate need to just escape the crowd and the noise, that leads to the single most important moment in this whole chapter. Seriously, this is the pivot. This is where everything starts to shift.
So Jo ducks into this quiet little curtained-off room, just trying to catch her breath. But she's shocked to see she's not alone. There's a young guy already in there, just sitting by himself. And you can tell right away, he looks just as awkward and out of place as she feels. Jo kind of stammers an apology, explaining she's just shy and doesn't really know anyone. And all he says back is two simple words, "Me too." And bam, in that one instant, everything changes. That shared feeling, that social awkwardness, it becomes the bedrock of this incredible friendship. And we find out his name is Laurie.
And it's amazing how fast we learn so much, right? In just a few minutes of them talking, Jo finds out that Laurie is actually her neighbor. He's the guy who lives in that big fancy house next door with his grandfather. He's been to school in Europe and, get this, he hates parties just as much as she does. They just click, and it feels like they've known each other for years.
So just as this brand new friendship is starting to take off, the night throws one last curveball at the sisters. And this is Laurie's moment. This is where he really gets a chance to show what he's made of.
So after a whole night of dancing, Meg's foot is killing her. I mean, she can barely walk. The obvious answer would be to get a carriage home. But we already know that's not an option. A carriage is way too expensive for them. So yeah, they're pretty much stuck. But before they can even panic, Laurie just jumps right in. No hesitation at all. He gets some ice from Meg's foot, and then he offers them a ride home in his grandfather's carriage. It's already waiting outside because, of course, he always leaves parties early. And with that one simple act of kindness, it just confirms everything. This guy is a class act, a true gentleman.
Okay, let's pull back for a second. Think about it. What did this little story about a party actually do? Well, the answer is a ton. It's just a masterclass in how to tell a story efficiently.
I mean, in just this one chapter, we get a super clear picture of how different Meg and Jo are. We totally get that the family is struggling with money, but it's never spelled out for us. We meet this huge new character, Laurie, and we see exactly why he and Jo connect so well. And maybe most importantly, we see Jo fighting against what society expects of her. You know, her discomfort with being a proper lady. That's a theme that's going to drive her whole story.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? You have two shy kids hiding out from a party, and they happen to find each other in the same quiet corner. And that single conversation started just because they were both awkward. It kicks off this entire epic story. It just goes to show you, sometimes the biggest adventures don't start with some huge explosion. Sometimes they start with a quiet, simple, me too.